of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Hello.
Hola!
Bonjour.
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao.
Ciao!
Annyeonghaseyo.
Mabuhay!
Welcome to Washington State.
Explore the sights. Discover new things.
Appreciate the arts, music, and food.
Travel to new places.
Meet the people.
Make new friends.
In other words,
come
home with us.
Come home with us.
This is INCRadio Seattle, Washington.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all members and listeners around the world. We're very happy to have you join us for yet another edition of INCRadio Seattle, Washington. I'm your host again for this weekend, Brother Marlon Tuduran from the local congregation of Tacoma, Washington. And we have a very, very exciting topic to share with all of you listening in today. On today's show, our topic will be less gloom, more bloom. Do you like one lip? Well, we're talking about tulips today, and the beautiful wonder in our discussion in INCRadio today. We'll also be joined later on by our correspondent who will have an update on the news and activities in our district. We also have a special video showcasing our very own state flower here in Washington State. Which flower is that? If you don't know, stay tuned and you'll find out later when we show that very special video. But first, here's a reminder of the several ways we can tune into the program. One way we can tune in is in our YouTube channel. While you're there, type in INCRadio DZEM 954. And don't forget to subscribe. You can also tune into the program at incradio.org. So what are you waiting for? Tell all your friends and loved ones to tune in so that they can join in on all the fun we're having here at INCRadio Seattle, Washington. We also have our ongoing hashtag challenge. When you comment in the chat on our YouTube chat, be sure to leave a hashtag with your local congregation. The winning congregation will be the one with the most hashtags in the chat. And also, I always like to remind that if you want your hashtag to count, comment on the actual YouTube link that contains INCRadio Seattle, Washington in the title and not INCRadio live stream. So make sure it says Seattle, Washington in the title for your hashtag to count. I would like to see one day, this is just my own personal thing, it'd be kind of neat if we had a congregation from outside of Washington State win the hashtag challenge one time. So that would be amazing if that ever happened. But we thank our brethren in our own state that participate furiously. That chat is always moving, and we thank you so much for your participation. Now, without further ado, we are going to recognize the most active brethren in the live chat. Coming in at number 3 for last weekend is Sister Ariane Bangolet from the local congregation of Seattle. So congratulations, sister. We also have Sister Yvonne Reyes coming at number 2 from all the way on the east side of Washington in the local congregation of Spokane. Sister Yvonne, you're always in the top 3, so thank you so much for being active during our radio program. And coming in at number 1, drum roll please if we could. Okay. I provided the drum roll this time. It is Sister Din Shen Villenia. So she is from the local congregation of Shoreline. So thank you very much, sister, for being active in our live chat. Keep it up. We'll see who will be active for today's show, and we'll announce the winners for next on our next weekend program. Now let's go to the congregational winners for last week's hashtag competition. Coming in at number 3, this place sounds very familiar to me. It is the local congregation of Tacoma. So yes, Tacoma. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for representing the local congregation of Tacoma. tuning in back to the program. Yes, it seems my audio cut out for a second, so hopefully you didn't miss my voice too much. We were just going to announce the winners for last week's hashtag competition for the congregations. So if you missed it, number 3 was Tacoma, number 2 is Seattle, and coming in at number 1 this week is the local congregation of Shoreline. Yes, Shoreline. So yay. Congratulations to our winners. Who will win this week? We'll find out later on in our program. All right, now we have an array of different guests, and I'm looking forward to meeting each and every one. Some of them I've seen before in person, but if you could, you can choose the order of introduction. So go ahead, go down the line, introduce yourself, say your name, what local congregation you're from, and any shout outs that you have. This is your opportunity to do so. So go ahead whenever all of you are ready.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brother Vaughn from the local congregation of Oak Harbor. Shout out to my family throughout the world. There's so many, I'll just say throughout the world.
Oh, hello. I'm Brother Tristan Arguino from the local of Federal Way. And I'll just like to shout out all the brethren from Fedway.
Hi, I'm Sister Lauren from also Federal Way, and I'd like to shout out all the Binhi here in our district.
All right, very nice yes, I enjoyed the enthusiasm. Very happy to have Brother Vaughn, Brother Tristan, and Sister Lauren today on our program. Thank you so much for joining us to talk about a very important topic that is near and dear to the hearts of everyone here in Washington State. And before we get into our discussion, we also want the chat to get involved. So we have this question for you. Have you visited any of the tulip fields in Washington? And share with us, what was your experience like? We'd love to hear how you felt, the sights that you saw, and what stood out to you during that visit. So please share that in our chat, and we will read your responses later on in the program. But before that, let's see what's going on in the chat right now. We have one greeting from JC Sandre. It says, it's nice to see you all both this morning in Burien. So yes, very special activity happened in Burien this morning, and I'm sure our correspondent will mention that later on in our program. And JC says, hashtag Seattle 3 times. So getting those hashtags in for the challenge. We also have a quick greeting here from Sister Lisa Villanueva. Says, happy Saturday, everyone. It is Saturday here in Washington State, hashtag Shoreline. And we have another one from Sister Juliet Ciro. She says, happy viewing po from hashtag Spokane. So all over the state, everyone is listening at this moment, and we thank you so much for tuning in. But let's go ahead and go into our discussion. So who are we gonna pick first to start our discussion? Let's go with Brother. You can't see what's happening right now, but there is some pointing going on. Everyone is a little shy, but we'll get out of our shell. Let's start with who lives closest to the tulip fields. Let's see. Go ahead and point. Okay, so it's Brother Vaughn. Brother Vaughn lives closest to the tulip fields here in Washington State. So, Brother Vaughn, what are your experiences with the tulip fields in Washington State?
As you heard me say earlier, I'm from the Oak Harbor area. So every time I go home driving, I pass through the tulip fields. So at least a few times a week driving home. It's a very beautiful scene, and I've visited the numerous Skagit Valley fields that's there in the various times throughout the years I've lived here. and it's just such a spectacular view to spend time.
That's awesome. Wow, it's just part of your normal commute. You get to see that almost every day. That's quite the experience. How about you, Brother Tristan? What are your experiences with the tulip fields here in Washington?
Wow. It was very astounding. Um, it's very picturesque. So if you're really into like say photos, definitely go there, po. And it was just amazing, po. I don't have any other words.
It's
the most beautiful.
breathtaking, isn't it, Brother Tristan? We
Yes,
are
po.
actually showing some pictures of the tulip fields right now, and yes, I can see why Brother Tristan would lose his breath looking at these beautiful flowers. Sister Lauren, what are your experiences with the tulip fields?
For me, since we just moved here and it was our first time, it was definitely like when my kuya said, breathless. breathtaking. But yeah, very nice experience. It feels like you're in Europe, kind of. So yeah.
Yes, it does take some of its inspiration from some European countries. I know at some locations they even have wooden windmills, which aren't a common occurrence here in Washington State. So it's really nice to see those. Um, let's go back to Brother Vaughn. When you experience, well, actually, let's go to Brother Tristan and Sister Lauren, since they said this is their first experience. When you had this experience, losing your breath in these beautiful, breathtaking tulip fields, who did you share this experience with? Were you by yourselves, or were there family members that you were with, or friends? And like, who did you share this experience with?
It was nice because we were with
We were with
family and
family,
friends. Yeah, and we were able to take
a lot of pictures, and
with the different colors.
it's a good place to have like family time and take family photos.
A lot of family photos.
I agree. Yeah, I've lived here my entire life, but I've only we're so far south of Washington from the tulip fields. Actually only visited it for my first time maybe 2 years ago, and yeah, we did the road trip. It took us a couple hours to get up there, but definitely worth it. Brought the family to enjoy that experience, and we too lost our breath. Thank you for the windmills that help us regain our breath as we're looking at these flowers. How about you, Brother Vaughn? Have you also had maybe family experiences in these tulip fields very close to your home?
Yes, absolutely. It's one of the tourist locations, as you mentioned, Brother Marlon. There's a lot of people that haven't taken an opportunity to head up north there in the Puget Sound in the Skagit Valley area, because I know there's other places throughout the state that have tulips, but the predominant area that the entire state is so known for is the Mount Vernon area in the Skagit Valley County area. And whenever I have family coming visit during this time of the year, absolutely one of the places that we absolutely have to go to visit and show them the beauty of the Pacific Northwest during the springtime. And again, it's just an opportunity to again share the beauty of this place. Yeah, and we're I think Brother Marlon's having difficulty with the mic. One of the things that I would I would also recommend when you do go up, because like Brother Marlon said, it may take a few hours to get up there. So one of the advices that I would give for those that have not yet been up there or plan to go there in the futures, definitely be patient. There will be congestion in the roads, especially on I-5, even on Highway 20. There's other routes. Make a full day of it, because if you're kind of rushing to go through it, you definitely want to try not to rush and absolutely enjoy the time with your family. Maybe do a picnic nearby in a field, and actually have a snack or a lunch or whatnot. So that's just
so
one of
true.
the recommendations.
You don't want to lose your breath trying to rush to get in. You want to lose your breath when you're in the field, trying to take it all in. So that's very, very good tips and so true. I do remember that experience when we got there. There was very long lines. And for anyone interested in visiting, we're not sponsored or anything, but you can also make reservations to certain fields so that you can be ensured that you will have admission after making those long trips all the way to the tulip fields. Now we actually have some responses from our chat. We have one from Sister Carell Cleveland. She says, we visited the tulip farms and loved it. Brought flowers for my mother-in-law and had a little lecture on tulips. So, wow, sounded very educational. And that's from #Shoreline. We also have one from Brother Andrew Santa Monica, #Seattle. He said, I visited tulips in Skagit Valley 5 years ago. I was able to see such lovely red and yellow tulips. They're striped or something like that. Thank you so much, Brother Andrew. Very happy to hear of our experiences. And yeah, if you haven't gone out and felt that experience yourself, we definitely all recommend that you go and look at these beautiful flowers. Also, looks like we're running out of time, so we're gonna move on forward to our next segment. Thank you so much to our guests for joining us and sharing your experiences. But Brother Terrell, he's making the transition, and wow, it's gonna look like a magic trick, but there he is. Brother Terrell in the middle. Thank you for joining us. What's going on in the district and what is the news?
All right, thank you, Brother Marlon. Hello, everyone. I am Brother Terrell Torres from the local congregation of Everett, and this is our CFO in action here in the District of Washington State. So, Brother Tech, if we could start showing some pictures from our previous activities. Just recently, the officers in the district filled up the Seattle Chapel in a meeting led by Brother Ramil Rahino, our district supervising minister. The officers showed their utmost enthusiasm through the meeting and looked forward to the many activities within the district. This activity, the Kent Outdoor Family Socializing, on April 20, 2024, spring season is here in Washington State, and as the brethren venture out to the popular tulip farms in Mount Vernon during the month of April. The Kent congregation held an approved outdoor family socializing in one of the many tulip gardens. The tulips were in full bloom as the brethren did not waste an opportunity to capture the moments together in the gardens. And on April 21, the district Bini had their formal. The Bini members throughout the District of Washington State gathered together in the quaint city of Snohomish to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the Bini organization. The young brethren were able to dress up and enjoy popular foods, drinks, and desserts. It was an activity full of fun, games, INC original music, and picture taking. The event kicked off with opening remarks by Brother Ramil Rahino, the district supervising minister. And we had a performance, Sister Kylene. Shout out to Sister Kylene. That's my cousin from the local of Everett. And then there's some games that are being played by the Binhis up on stage. I think that was the Get What's in the Box, right, Sister Lauren? Right, yeah. And then we had some more performances.
Wow, looks like so much fun.
All right, and then the next activity, we had our district choir sponsored regional evangelical mission on April 22nd of 2024. The choir members in the District of Washington State spearheaded an evangelical mission which was simultaneously held in 8 live in-person sites. Through the leadership of Brother Ramil Rahino, the district supervising minister, brethren and guests were taught a Bible-based lesson which gave all the listeners hope and inspiration. All in attendance were uplifted after this joint effort. And then one of our other previous activities, the local congregation of Seattle had their 52nd anniversary on April 24th. So congrats to the local of Seattle on the 52nd anniversary. All right, and then for our upcoming activities, I know we're all excited for our upcoming activities. April 28th, which is tomorrow, the District CBI have their meet and greet at 4 p.m. via WebEx. And that is going to be with the districts of Alaska, Mountain States, Washington State, and New Jersey, I believe. Is that right? Yeah. So at 4 p.m. for all the high school and college students, we have that meet and greet. Also, April 28th is the Deacon and Deaconess special gathering at 6 p.m. in Seattle for all those officers. April 29th, there's a district baptism and social special gathering for Bible students at 7:30 p.m. And on May 5th is our CFO Day at 4 p.m. in the Seattle House of Worship. And then today, we just had our activity, like Brother Marlon had mentioned, which is why we're all wearing our INC giving shirts, is our Burien Clean Sweep, which we held in conjunction with the city of Burien that helped with picking up trash and help cleaning the streets of Burien. So that's all for me, Brother Marlon. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Brother Terrell. That was very informative, and it was great to see all of those activities. Before we move on, we also want to say a very big thank you to Ka Angelo Manalo for always supporting our CFO activities in our district. And we also want to say a very special advance happy birthday to our beloved brother, Ka Angelo Manalo. Happy birthday po from all of us here at INCRadio Radio Seattle, Washington. So happy birthday po. We want to now move on to our next segment, which is a video presentation as promised on our state flower. So if you are tired of tulips, here's a different flower to enjoy. So Kuya Tech, if you could please.
There's a reason why the Pacific rhododendron is the Washington state flower. Native to Washington state, this beauty grows really well here. When in bloom, the rhododendrons, which are also referred to as rhodies, are everywhere. The large clusters of eye-catching blooms are the main attraction. They grow well in natural woodland settings and are adapted to our dry summers. In addition, rhododendrons are usually tolerant of weather extremes. They have the ability to fold their leaves when conditions become too cold. This helps them flourish in Washington state. Mostly seen as large bushes, the native plant can grow 10 to 20 feet in height. Our state rhodie plays a role in state history. 18 years before Washington state women got the right to vote, they were allowed to pick the state flower. Women flocked to post office polling places to help choose the flower. In 2010, on the 100th year anniversary of suffrage in the state, women used the rhododendron as a symbol of enthusiasm for the right to vote. Mid-spring, between April and June, is when most rhododendrons are in the bloom. They are common in most people's gardens and can be found in western Washington in moist woods from sea level to moderate elevations in the mountains. If you want to see masses of them, visit the Eastern Olympic Peninsula. Their pink and white flowers make rhododendrons easy to see along the trail on the south side of Goose Rock in Deception Pass State Park on Whidbey Island. Wild rhododendrons are also abundant along the Hood Canal. In Tacoma, Point Defiance has a garden dedicated to this wild natural beauty. For those living in Federal Way area, please make the time to visit the local rhododendron botanical garden. Don't wait too long to make a trip to one of these locations. Spring flowers will fade soon, and these rhodies are worth the effort. This is Sister Ella Canono Longoria from INC Radio Seattle. See you later.
A very beautiful presentation, and we all hope you enjoyed seeing our state flower. It's a very beautiful flower, and that was a very great video shown today in our program. So we are at the end of our program for today, but before we go, we want to say a special thank you to Brother Eduardo Manalo, our Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Manalo, our CEBSI President and CFO Coordinator, Brother Ramil Regino, our District Minister, Brother Relly Rivera, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Chris Valdez, our CFO Overseer, the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in today, and the INC Radio Tech crew. This show would not be made possible without all of you, so thank you so much. And with that, from INC Radio Seattle, we will see you later.